You're listening to Accounting for Growth, the podcast where growth leaders in accounting go beyond referrals alone and think bigger. I'm Chad Person, your host and the founder and president of Accounting CMO. Each episode, we bring in experts at the edge of accounting innovation to share quick, actionable insights that help you lead with confidence, drive smart growth, and move your firm forward. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Accounting for Growth podcast. I'm Chad Person, your host. Let's jump into it. I'm pretty excited about this topic today. So one of the biggest challenges that I see when I work and serve professional services firms and leaders is that they all want growth, but oftentimes they lack a clear and shared vision for where their firm's going, right? So it's not that the firms are in any way, they're all ambitious, right? They all want to grow, but their goals are fuzzy, and accountability as a result can often be inconsistent, and execution kind of feels scattered, right? So that's why I'm excited today to kind of bring on Sharon Means. Sharon helps leaders kind of cut through all of that fog and helps them kind of really align and achieve whatever it is they're setting out to achieve. Sharon, welcome today.
Oh, thank you, Chad. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So Sharon, you and I have had an opportunity to kind of collaborate together, and I've seen you in action. Give me an overview of kind of who you are. What does Sharon Means business do? I know your role is that of a fractional integrator. Give me a sense of all that and the types of firms that you serve.
Absolutely. So, my background is I'm a CPA, and I found EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System. It's based on a book, Traction by Gino Wickman, and I'll hold while everyone holds up their copy because that's what everyone does when I mention the book, that they either have it, read it, have it on their shelf. And so it's basically, I work with firms, professional service firms specifically, that want to grow and scale, and I use the EOS platform to help that. So it's a business operating system, and we utilize the tools and things that for EOS to kind of help out firms like you were just saying that want to grow but don't have a real plan in place. And utilizing my background as a CPA, I obviously was COO of an accounting firm, so I specifically know what accounting firms are going through.
Yep. You understand the unique culture, frankly. And in addition to being a CPA and supporting CPA firms, I know you also help quite a few legal
Yes,
firms as
yeah,
well. Law firms, yeah,
correct. Yep,
yeah. Which
yep.
which are I always kind of thought about them as cousins for sure.
Oh, absolutely,
In
absolutely.
a lot of ways. So again, in my experience in serving essentially the same audience, as I kind of stated up front, there oftentimes can be a bit of a clarity gap, I feel like. Give me your sense of like, where do you see firms, your clients, where do you see them often falling short when it comes to clarity and how that has an impact on the firm?
Yeah, so lots of times, they just don't know how they've hit the ceiling, and they don't understand why the things that they're doing and the things that got them here is not going to get them where they're looking to go. And that could be revenue, it could be, number of partners, it could be, whatever the case may be, but they just don't understand that because what got them here is not going to get them there. And so, you really need to start looking into what got you here, and then also what we need to do to change so that we can continue to grow.
Yeah, it makes total sense. So one of the things that I kind of assume that goes hand in hand with a lack of clarity is a lack of accountability. Would you see that
Absolutely.
as yeah,
Yeah, that's a big one.
yeah,
Accountability is, why you can't get the traction that you need, so to speak, pun intended. And so if you don't have, if people aren't being held accountable, then they don't, you can't get ahead. You're just spinning your wheels all the time, talking about the same things in a leadership call, or
yes.
hashing out the same kind of issues, not having the data available to fix anything because they just, no one is cooperating, and, there's no accountability.
Yeah, I mean, again, all of those things combine to honestly just creating a lot of anxiety and frustration inside of
Absolutely.
firms. You know what I mean? I'm sure
Yeah,
you experience the same
absolutely.
things. When you're
Yeah.
brought in, you're oftentimes there's a bit of baggage that you're having to unpack.
Yes.
And again, um, for those individuals that might be listening today that experience some of that, what you said a moment ago around they feel like they're spinning their wheels.
Hmm.
And I think this idea of um, it's easy to mistake activity for actual progress,
Very well said.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And so you're going back to this idea of maybe vision and then execution. Can you give me a little bit more sense of maybe what the approach is to ensure that you've got vision first, then execution, and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really taking some time to reflect on what you want the business to look like, and what we call it in, EOS terms is a clarity break, but it's whatever fits with what you want to do. But it's basically just essentially blocking out some time to kind of map out where you want to be, say in 3, 5 years, and then figuring out, really how can you get there, and making sure that you have that goal that in mind, because if you put that out there, then you're more apt to hit it. But if we're just always in the day to day, that's what really messes this all up, is the always the putting out the fires, talking about the same, people that are not in the right seat, and they're not the right person for the firm, or the same process issues and things like that, just over and over again. You never get to really sit down and think, where should we be going? What is the vision?
So again, part of what you're focused on is essentially helping a firm, not only gain clarity on what they want their firm to look like you said, down the road, but um, essentially, do you have the right people and the right processes in
Hmm.
place to achieve it? I mean, that's kind of right. That's kind of what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. Right people, right seat. It's a big one. It's usually the biggest one that I tackle when I go into a firm. Because, what got them there isn't gonna, some of these people are not, they were there when the firm started. So of course they're, in the leadership position, but maybe they shouldn't be, or,
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, having someone with your experience, I think is so critical because again, if we think back about kind of the nuances associated with the legal profession, the accounting profession, this idea of having partners, right?
Hmm.
Having structures that are not necessarily the typical corporate structure that you see out there in many other industries or verticals. It creates a lot of unique, again, nuances, right? Of getting everybody on the same page and everybody
Yes.
aligned, pursuing a common goal. I mean, right?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, especially, there's usually a managing partner or founding partner, and then bringing on other partners and making sure that all their visions align, and, keeping them accountable, because they're all, usually very smart individuals who've gone through a lot of school to get where they are, and but they don't necessarily have the same, vision as maybe the managing partner does. So yeah, you got to get that all on the same page.
Absolutely. All right. So a managing partner or a firm leader is listening in today, and they feel like they've been pursuing the same results for a long time, and maybe they don't even realize that they've got a lack of clarity. I find that often to be the case. It's clear to them, but it's not clear to anyone else. What's your recommendation? I mean, what's the first step that they can take to try to diagnose and begin to remedy that?
Well, I think it's really, getting clear about, who is around them, and the people. I mean, maybe, the first step is what we call an accountability chart, which is just an org chart that you list the 5 to 7 roles and responsibilities for everyone in the firm, and making sure what the overlap is, what the gaps are, and what we'll need to come up with. And that usually comes up with a lot of good topics and things to work on, to get you to the next level. So I really feel a lot of it stems from, well, the biggest line item on the P&L for law firms, accounting firms is people,
Yes.
typically. So it
Yes.
is the biggest, resource that they have to protect, and also make sure that they're hiring, the correct staff and level of staff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that intersection where people and process meet, right, is
Yes.
kind of where it all sets. I can totally appreciate that. Awesome. Sharon, thank you. So hey, I mean, I mean, if someone again is out there listening, I mean, what's a great way for them to kind of collaborate with you? Is there a clarity session, or is there some way to kind of schedule maybe a discovery with you? Would that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I typically, I like to schedule a session just to get to know them, and, they can get to know me, and just to see, if how I work with, clients and people is like what they're really looking for. And then my second call is usually like a kind of what I call an audition. So I'm going to go through an actual leadership call with them, an L10. And so if they have, a leadership team already in place, I can sit in on that, or I can just kind of, show them. I use an app called 90.io. It's kind of the app for EOS. And so I kind of run through, there's, it's about a 90-minute meeting is supposed to be for our L10. So we'll run through, and it has a specific agenda with different topics, and segues, and headlines, and to-dos, and all those things that realistically should be run every week. And I kind of run through that so they can get an idea of how a leadership team meeting is run. And then from there, we can collaborate and see if there's
Yeah,
any
yeah,
way I can help. But I'm always happy to talk EOS. I really love talking to you about it, since you have so much background in it. It's just
sure,
it's a very
sure.
exciting time.
Well, yeah, it is an exciting time, and you've known obviously EOS much longer than I have, but I can tell you in my time as a fractional CMO, um, a firm that is implementing EOS is a huge indicator of success for me.
Yes.
When they're implementing EOS with someone like you, it is a clear indication of a firm that has such a dramatic increase in the potential for them to achieve whatever goals, growth or otherwise, they're after. It really is. I've come to know that clearly, and so big proponent of it. Getting helping firms get kind of their house in order and really deal with the true obstacles that are between them and success, whatever that looks like. So great. Hey, what your web address? Why don't you share it with the audience?
It's Sharon-Means-business.com. So
SharonMeansBusiness.com with a few dashes. Hey,
yes,
Sharon, thank you very much.
thank you.
Really appreciate the time today. And for everyone else, again, I can tell you, so is kind of Sharon as well, kind of achieving growth without clarity. It's tough, right? It often just means that it's just more stress for you as the firm leader, and you're just not achieving the results you need. So, again, big thanks to Sharon for joining us today. Check her LinkedIn profile or her website out, and thanks for joining us. And until next time, please keep accounting for growth. That's a wrap on this episode of Accounting for Growth, powered by your CMO. We help accounting leaders break the status quo. Please subscribe, share, and stay sharp. Your next big growth move starts now.